Hello and welcome to Campaign Comrades, your favorite leftist gaming podcast. To get the elephant in the room out of the way for any video watchers out there can see, I have the freshly shaved dome. It was time. It was time. Like I had
you were going to talk about these wonderful tacos that I'm eating. The video.
Oh, sure. There's that one as well. That Matt eating a little bit of a late lunch here. Let him house that taco while I do my intro. But yeah, it was time to go. And so my question is, and like I started off, I was going to have, because I had my biggest thing getting used to is obviously just how cold my head is. But I'm also notorious for like my ears get really hot. So like I wanted to get one of the little hipster beanies, you know, that doesn't cover my ears. And so I had that on just because it's kind of cold up where I record. And then Andrew logged on and had his little beanie on. And so I'm thinking, okay, do I wear the beanie and have people in the comments saying why do Andrew and I look exactly the same, or do I take it off and the question is, do I look more or less like Matt now that I've shaved my head?
I was gonna ask you if the driving impetus was you no longer want to be told on YouTube that you look like Matt.
Well, here's the thing.
We have two of the same people on here.
I have the sneaking suspicion that the people that were commenting that were like the same person with 10 sock accounts, because I didn't ban them. I just there's a setting I could do to like hold their comments for review, because it was getting to the point of spam. Like once or twice it's a funny haha joke, but you know, when it's spammed on everything, I'm like, that's a fucking annoying, and deal with that. So I had those things held for comment and haven't seen them since. So
hilarious.
Bye. But no, it was time. And I told Matt the real reason that I started considering it, and it's been like kind of thinking about it for a while, is that unprompted, the algorithm kept prompting me with r/bald on Reddit. Just, it's
not unprompted. There's an agenda. It knows what it's doing. Just the same reason it serves me r/catgirls.
Okay. I would say unprompted on my part. I wasn't searching for bald content. But then seeing the meme, you guys know, like it's like the animated meme or whatever of the two guys smiling at the guy turn around, you got the hand on his shoulder, and so it's just like with the smirking face, and people just post in that subreddit when someone asks, is it time for me to shave, they'll post pics of their current hair, and it's just that meme, except they have removed all their hair from them, so it's just two bald guys. Like, it's time, folks, it's time. So I just didn't want to get one of those eventually, so I'm just like seeing how
one of the electrical engineers that I work with, who comes down for the project every day, he was eating his food and he like looked up, and there's a giant window that looks out from the control room into the test area, and because it's all no power, so it's super dark, he could see his reflection really well in it, and he looked up and he's like, no, it hasn't gotten that bad, has it?
Because does he not have a mirror in his own house?
He has pretty long hair. Like, his hair is pretty, like, Larry David-esque, what I would describe.
Oh, you've described him as he's got a mad scientist.
Yeah.
He's an electrical engineer, right, you said?
Yeah.
And so it just looked like he stuck his finger in a socket.
And he pulled it back, and it was almost like one of those, like, balding filters where it just kept going every time he pulled further.
Oh, man.
And he was like, well, thank God. He told a story about how he, like, went to Denver last year, because he's from Denver originally, with the entire goal of like finding a girlfriend before he goes bald. And he like brought her back to Vermont. And he's like, I've got one now. I can let it go. It's time to give up everything. And I was talking to him about it, and he was like, maybe I just go for the full Larry David, where I just let the top go and just let the sides continue to.
Yeah, maybe when I was kind of going that way, because that was, yes, my hairline was receding, but like I've always had a pretty big forehead, so it wasn't really that bad or that like truly different. It was the fact that just the center was just thinning so badly that
we in New York would call that the Tom Thibodeau.
And so like, yeah, maybe eventually it was like very thin, but like not thin enough. And obviously I'm still too young to embrace the Larry David, but like, yeah, maybe in 15 years I'll if I keep it like this, I'll let the back and the sides grow out and just keep the monk tonsure, you know? But yeah.
I like how she's been just chilling in the window all day, and then we start recording, and she's like, I need to roost right on the knee. Stare directly into the soul of the camera.
It's my time to show off. She's a pretty kitty, yes. Until she just then, just hurls up a hairball right on your leg.
No, she's sneezy. So she's just been sneezing a lot recently.
All right, so folks, this is a gaming podcast after all.
No.
Let's talk about games. It's our middle of the month episode. We're just talking about the new things that we're playing, or for 2/3 of this podcast, the things that they're still playing. Hopefully with some new insights, at least. I'm gonna start this episode. Start, bring in the middle, and wrap up at the end. Because I was coming in feeling like I've let you guys down. No longer am I hitting my highs of like, I had that 1 month where I played like 10 games.
Yeah.
Granted, a lot of those were like single sitting. I played them in an afternoon games. But this month, I've only played 3 games. Played, finished, beat 3 games. And they range from decent, kind of mid, to quite good, to absolute cinema, must play. I won't stop talking about it. In my top 5, I'm like going through and looking at my backlog list where I track all my games played and seeing, okay, what was actually new that came out this year? I know what my game of the year is. Nothing has really come close to that, but like everything else is kind of up for contention. And I've played a lot of things that I enjoyed this year, but I like to mix in old things too. So some of my favorite things are not necessarily new from this year. So I'm like, okay, where exactly does this stuff fall? And I'm like kind of within top 3, top 5. But we'll start with, in my opinion, the worst experience. It wasn't a bad experience, I'll say that, but it was definitely not my favorite from this month. And it's actually the most recent one that I played. Technically, I guess I finished 2, the worst and the best I finished on the same day, and you'll hear why in a second. But the first one and the worst one was Outer Worlds 2. The new Obsidian RPG sequel to the original one was 2017, right? It was like 2017 or 2018, something like that.
I thought it was 19. I thought it was more recent than
19
that.
might be right. That might be right. That sounds more correct.
Yeah.
I didn't play Outer Worlds 1 on launch. I played it, I think it was probably 2021. 21 or 22. I played it when I had Game Pass, actually. And I'm just like kind of comparing my experiences between the two, where it's like I really liked Outer Worlds 1 for its tone, and I appreciated its writing a little bit more than it was critiqued for its writing, but I thought it's not a particularly deep story or in any way, but I found it more engaging. However, that being said, I can't remember what the main story was, and I forgot to look it up before we started recording. But I couldn't tell you what the main story of Outer Worlds 1 was at this point. I don't remember. It did not stick that much in my mind. What stuck out for me most were a couple of the companions were really good. Everybody's favorite girl, Pavardi, and I liked the kind of existentialist. He's a priest, but in that world he's a vicar. He was pretty fun. Max.
Pavardi.
And their
I'm just thinking of cheese now. I'm not gonna lie.
It's Pavardi, not Pavardi.
I know.
But she was really good. Voiced by Ashley Birch. Really good. Good voice work. And just like a really kind of funny character. Everyone else on the cast, completely forgettable. Did
they bring her back for 2?
Because it's a completely different story. You're in a different colony. You're in a completely different colony. Like a star system, a different star system. You're in the Arcadia star system for this one.
Mm.
Yeah. But what stuck with me most about Outer Worlds 1 was just its tone. I found it to be a funny slapstick satire pastiche of corporatism run amok without being cringy in your face type of stuff. Most of the joke comes from ambient world design. If you're listening to things as things overheard by random NPCs, the advertisements of the Spacer's Choice and Auntie Cleo's and that kind of stuff.
I played like an hour or two of this when I had Game Pass as well, but I didn't keep with it. Am I misremembering that the load screens also had like cheeky kind of quips in this one, in Outer Worlds, or am I?
I mean, they would be things like they would show, like it would be like an advertisement.
Yeah, that's
for
what
like
it was.
a company.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it was like satirical ads. I remember thinking those were pretty funny in my limited experience.
And so I just remember like the world sticking with me. I found most of the RPG systems to be pretty decent. I liked the combat well enough. You know, me, I'm not a shooter in RPG is never my preferred one, but it was good enough. I didn't find those systems to be anything particularly interesting. I, however, have greater appreciation for some of them after playing Outer Worlds 2. Because Outer Worlds 2 has been lauded as the game that they wanted to make for Outer Worlds 1. It's Outer Worlds 1, but bigger and better, more systems, just bigger scope. And in a lot of ways, that's correct. Where the game really succeeds is in its build crafting, its role-playing possibilities, but then there are even mechanical things that they have smoothed the edges of that make for a not as good of experience. I like that they lean into builds really matter and are going to affect how you're interacting, whether with quests and NPCs or just out in the world. So the most common one, we'll say, you can hack and you can lockpick. Those are skills that you can do to open up locked doors. You'll come across some doors that are partially opened but have like failed, and those can only be opened either if you have a high enough engineering or the brawny trait, which lets you just kind of force them open. And I had neither of those. I didn't have brawny, and I did not invest any of my points in engineering. That was you have to kind of focus on like 3 skills. Yeah,
all of my friends hate engineering.
Yeah, Matt's shaking his head. No, I went science, medical, and then lockpicking and hacking. Lockpicking, hacking, and speech were my like other 3. Say lockpick and hacking, just because so much of the stuff is.
If it was a true build crafting game, if you invested in engineering, you wouldn't be able to invest in speech.
You're right. You can take the dumb trait, which does lock you out of like 5 of the traits.
Hilarious.
And I really kind of wish I had done a dumb playthrough. Like there's this one, I've seen clips shown around, there's one quest where it's like you gotta fit like a battery in this piece of tech to get something running. And if you have the dumb option, you can instead put a can of food in and see what happens.
There was a podcast I listened to where they were talking about, one of them was doing a dumb playthrough, and she was like, she got to a side quest where it was like someone's space animal had like gotten sick because it ate a bunch of
the purple berry crunch. And you're talking about the triple click episode, right? Yeah. Maddie Myers. I listened to that same episode, and I got to that quest after she talked about it. It was hilarious. It was one of the few times where I could see the dumb option, but obviously couldn't take it.
Yeah.
It was so this.
If you're dumb, you just keep feeding purple berry.
She's a
crunch to the
raptidon
poisoned
like
animal
caretaker, and she's like stupidly gave it a box of purple berry crunch, and you can see it's got like a purple stain around its mouth, and it's really sick. And so the dumb option is, give it more purple berry crunch.
Apparently, also when you play if you do the dumb route, you get just like the option to like essentially button mash.
Yeah.
And potentially get the right answer.
Yeah, it's like some of those technical things, rather than just having a simple skill, passing a skill check and they just do the thing. It's hit random buttons and see what happens. So there's like there is a lot of those
ironically
elements.
Speaking, is a real engineering solution. As the head electrical engineer I've been working with calls it out all the time. He's like, yeah, I've just been button mashing over here, and eventually something happens. So I know one of the things that I hit.
Where's the fail state? What's the where's the fail point? So there's like really great elements like that where it makes those things feel impactful largely in what you can't do, which is a unique thing to do successfully. It's like rather than feeling bad that I couldn't open those things, it made me feel good because there were plenty of other things out in the world that I felt rewarded for doing. So it was these constant reminders that like, yes, my choices in build matter. You do not get to respec. You have one respec chance, and it's immediately after the prologue, which is an hour and a half. So you've maybe invested like 2 skills, and skill points are pretty stingy and all that. But so this was a larger setup to one of the things that these kind of edges that they smoothed over is in the original, in the Outer Worlds 1. Yes, your build craft matters, and you will have limited choices, but your companions can help contribute to skills based off of their background. Pavardi was an engineer. She increases your engineering skill when she's in your party, encouraging you to have multiple, to be constantly swapping out your party to gain these advantages, maybe to shore up some of your deficits. But in Outer Worlds 2,
if it was really built off of reality, they might help you the first time, and then they would slowly gain resentment to you every time they continue to help you with engineering.
Doing your work for you. Yeah. But so it would just be that it boosts your skill by a couple points depending upon what their specialty was. And to me, that seems like a great balance of meshing systems, because it's not like it gives you a +10 bonus and now you can unlock something you could never touch. It's just they could just often make that little difference of getting you over the edge of something. And that's just completely gone now. Companions are the biggest letdown, both narratively and mechanically, like that they have these. They have some abilities that you can choose, but they basically do no damage, and they die all the time.
Yeah, like what's the mechanical point of the companion then if they're not?
You could technically have a leadership build, which will increase the potency and frequency of companion abilities, which is like they don't do regular damage, like basically at all. They do little. They're technically shooting, and you can see sometimes at best they'll proc a status like the burn from a plasma weapon, but that's it. They're doing single digit damage unless you then you use their abilities, which are bigger deal, which will affect bigger deal. The one that I found most effective and who I kept in my party most of the time was this character Marisol, who is just a crowd control ability. She puts them in stasis for a short time, and if you shoot something in stasis, you get crits. So that was good. Like, it was more about their abilities are more useful, and so if you want to make them useful, you have to spec into leadership. And if you don't, which for most playstyles is not viable, they're useless. They're essentially useless. The only purpose they serve is staying alive in case you die so that you can use a trauma kit to get back up. But they just go down so fast that, like...
Perfect.
They're just a pain. And also then, personality-wise and narrative-wise, they are just complete zeros. They are charisma black holes. There is nothing interesting about really any of them, nothing memorable. Maybe the best you could say is that they all clear, or I should say maybe like 4 out of the 5 or however many there are, clear the slightest bar of like the worst companions from Outer Worlds 1. Like I said, there were some of those that were just like, I don't even remember their names. I don't remember anything about their personalities at all. I just had the 2. But not a single companion reaches even close to the height of like the best companions from 1. And the questing just didn't, their quest felt really kind of phoned in and not rewarding. All that happens by doing them is you get like a mod kit for them that just slightly increases and can slightly specialize. Each one has 2 mod kits, and for each mod kit you can make a binary choice for their weapon and their armor. Like, they do this damage versus that damage type, and they get a bonus to this armor scenario instead of this one. Like, they regenerate health, or they start with extra health is about it. And you know what actually ended up really kind of sucking at the end? I had done my build as a science medical build, so the whole point was trying to use the medical inhaler to get to what would normally be the bad thing, which is a crash state. It's basically you've OD'd on your inhaler, and you filled up the toxicity bar, and you then can't use it while you have to wait for the bar to drop. You can, if you spec high enough into medical, you can eventually unlock a perk that lets you use it while crashing, but just not as effective. But the point is that you do it with the purpose of crashing because it gives you buffs. It like buffs your damage while crashing. And so I did that.
It's like
And
Dr. House style.
yeah, yeah. And then science in order to boost status effects and in like elemental damage, because those are just the strongest. And it took me quite a while. Plasma just fucks up everything, and acid is good against armor, shock good against mechs, which there are a lot of. But then I got to a point where I found a gun, and it wasn't even a special gun. There are like all these cool, unique, not even just the science weapons, which is one of the series mainstays. Like, yes, there's a trophy that's really fun. You use the shrink ray. You shrink people down and you step on them.
Sweet.
If you do that 5 times, you get a trophy. So that's cool.
That's fun.
Those are fun. But then they have more unique weapons, like one with an auto-locking sight, or special ammo types, or unique kind of scenarios. But I just found this one assault rifle that just had like pre-built in mods that were really good, and it just cleared any damage that I was doing. I had originally spec'd into a closer damage using a plasma pistol for a shit ton of of elemental damage, but I got to be pretty close to do it. So there's like a perk that's like plus 100% sneak and plus 30% proximity damage, but minus 20 range damage. But then I get this assault rifle with a good scope on it and can take things out from further away, and I'm just doing so much more damage with even with the debuff. I'm doing much more damage with a basic weapon than some of these interesting ones. So
that's weird.
Kind of a weird situation.
Did you feel like it was they had tuning issues elsewhere in the combat, or did you once you locked in you just didn't even?
I wouldn't say that I have much experience, besides that I could see that stealth is not viable. Like, that there is not enough in there to make stealth a fun experience. Maybe if you're doing something like a stealth sniper, because if you could do it from really far away, then yeah, that could be a little bit more fun. But stealth melee seems really shitty. You just get like one of your throwables instead of a grenade can be a distraction device, and it just seems like shit. Like, I don't see why that would be fun or well tuned to your question. I played on regular difficulty, and I'd never found the game to be that hard. People were complaining that even on normal difficulty that the beginning is too hard, and I didn't find that to be the case.
I don't know, maybe what I'm about to say is controversial, but I don't ever find shooters, like, obviously if you up the difficulty they can get harder, but I don't find shooters
usually they only get
all that hard.
They only
make
get
them sponges.
They just become bullet sponges.
Yeah.
Right? And no, because like for me, particularly me with my build where I'm cycling through ammo types, like I have those in my inventory thing. Like, yeah, you come up with something that's got armor on it. Yeah, if you're just doing physical damage, that sucks. But that's just a quick weapon swap to me, and I'm just nuking them. Like, I did find it was like I think it was technically a science weapon, but it was like this like acid shotgun type thing, but it's not really a shotgun. It just would shoot these bouncing balls of goo at these things. And the good part about it is, like, if you hold the left trigger, like aim down sights, it'll lock on to what you want the balls to focus on. Otherwise, they'll just kind of go wild. But I'll come across these huge mechs that are supposed to be like almost a mini boss that have like immense armor, and I'm just hitting one go of the goo gun basically, and it just deletes them. It just straight up deleted them. So it even got to the point where things were like too easy.
Yeah.
There would be these random difficulty spikes in certain encounters, but they were very, very rare. Maybe like a bounty had like a really big camp and there's a bunch of turrets and they're shooting their own status effects at you. That one was like kind of tough. But besides that, no, there was nothing difficult. The tuning could have been a little bit better. But the main story, oh my God, it sucked. It was bad. It was just straight up bad. There's just nothing interesting, nothing personal about it. You don't feel any sense of why I should care as this character you've created. You're an Earth Directorate agent that's been sent to this new colony because these rifts have been opening because of the skip drive technology, like the faster than light travel things are creating these rifts, and it's like, I don't care about the factions. The funny part with the factions is that Spacer's Choice and Auntie Cleo's, the two corporations that I mentioned from the first game, have merged. It was a hostile merger, and it just became Auntie's Choice.
Auntie's Choice.
And yeah, the other two major factions, because there is technically a third or another one, but I don't care. One of your companions is a cultist, and there's a cult faction, but they really don't factor in at all. There's also even another one who factors in even less. They're just kind of like almost like the Thieves Guild, and it's basically being on good terms to buy their shit. That's about it. But the three major factions, two of the other ones, I just don't care about. They have zero personality. They're just like they love math. They're basically, people compared it to, they're like the Foundation from Asimov's Foundation. You know, they're doing psychohistory, basically. And the other one is just like this, they're space fascists. They're called the Protectorate.
Classic.
They're just space fascists, so they're not interesting at all. And they eventually become the actual true enemy faction.
That, but you're also the most interested in space fascism when it's done through space marines.
But in that, they're all various degrees of space fascists. So when everybody's a space fascist, is anybody a space fascist? That's the real thing.
I think there are a couple groups that are pretty collective and less fascist. I think if you join the Necrons, life's pretty good.
Dude, the Necrons hate what happened to them. But we're getting off track. The Auntie's Choice remains the most interesting because it's the funniest and it's the silliest. That is encapsulated by one of the best inclusions of the game was the radio stations that you could just tune into to have playing while you are just going about your business. And the Auntie's Choice radio is so good. That's the best thing that the writers did in the entire game, was the songs, the jingles, basically, that they wrote for all the Auntie's Choice products. There's a great one that's about, it's a crooner, and he's called the Uncomplicated Loner. And it took me a while to actually listen to the lyrics. And I'm thinking, he's a crooner, he's sad. He's talking about being the uncomplicated loner. It's about him being alone and being sad and depressed. But no, not Loner. It's Loaner. It's about he's a loan shark.
Hell yeah.
It's there's a line about how the loan that you've requested includes compound interest, and my terms have never been lower, blah, blah, blah. There's things about all the products that have been made because of corporate accidents, like Auntie Cleo trying to increase productivity by giving all her analysts this new stim, but instead they shit themselves to death, so they create it into the laxative product. And so there's another song about the laxative, and it's really funny. If your impacted colon it's called Liftoff. It's impacted colon got you down, take Liftoff. There's 2 songs about their bubblegum cigarettes, really good. Yeah, the music is the true triumph for sure. But the game was good enough until I got to kind of the last 10 hours, and then it was just true sunk cost fallacy at that point, where I'm just oh my god, I'm fucking bored. There's nothing that really makes me want to keep playing this, but I'm so far in and I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. I just got to suffer through this and I'll finish it. And
you know how they say in psychology or the study of the brain, how hatred and love
are very close. They're not opposites.
Very close. From the way that you've spoken about this game, it's weird because you've definitely spoken about this game more than any game that you've liked.
Right. Because there's a lot of, because it's you see a lot of things that I could really, really enjoy. If the main story and the companions were better, I would have loved this game. I would have, been one of the best RPGs I've ever played, at least in recent memory. This type of RPG, an action RPG that I've played in this time. But just, I would say there's these 3 pillars, kind of the building, build, craft, and RPG elements, the narrative and kind of world building, and it kind of just fails on 2 of the 3 fronts. That the build, craft RPG is really, really good, with some minor complaints here and there, but for the most part, really good. I like the kind of strict choices that they made. However, they've done it with saying we're encouraging you to do a second playthrough. And I'm that's not fucking happening, because everything else around it to me kind of sucked. The worlds were boring to explore. The story sucked. The characters sucked. It was just the dialogue was good. the dialogue choices in the role playing elements, that was really good from moment to moment. But the story was just a fucking huge zero.
How long? What was your playtime?
Like 42 hours, give or take an hour. That's it on Outer Worlds 2. Although this is a funny story. I've subscribed to the Returned Game Informer. I've been subscribed since they were revived, and have been enjoying the magazine. It's usually it had been on a fairly consistent clip of when I was getting them, but I felt like I had missed the latest issue and looked it up, and it was the Outer Worlds 2 cover issue, and it literally got delivered to my house the day after I finished. I'm like,
Perfect.
well, that fucking sucks. Do I even bother reading the cover story now? I don't know. But yeah, if you really loved Outer Worlds 1, yes, play Outer Worlds 2. I'm sure you'll enjoy it and enjoy your time. If you were kind of, I don't know, on Outer Worlds 1, this is not going to change anything.
I'm going to pass.
Down to it. You're not missing anything. With what you like in RPG games, you're not missing anything.
Way here.
All right. So, which one of you wants to talk about what you have still been playing?
I'll go. I'll jump in here. I'm still mostly playing Ghost of Yotei. My views haven't really changed much. I'm still very much enjoying it. I am coming to the realization that I might just not be into games that go much beyond 40 hours. That's kind of where I hit my limit of enjoyment time, and I'm approaching that with it, but I'm also, I think, 75-80% done.
Where are you?
So I am about to take out the Kitsune.
Okay, so then you'll go to the Oshima Coast, which is a much smaller area.
Yeah. That's what I had seen. So I think I'm probably nearing the end. I have curious, you had at one point messaged that you beat the one of the hardest side content things in the game. Was that Takezo? Is that what you were referencing?
the Unrivaled, yeah.
Yeah.
Atop of Mount Yotei. I beat him before I had beaten my second of the Yotei 6. Yeah. I had 2 throwables. I didn't even have the kunai yet. I had not come anywhere close to fully upgrading my katana.
Yeah, he kicked my ass.
I was severely underleveled.
I tried for 40 minutes, and you have to pretty much be perfect with your parries once you get to that, because it freezes you and reduces your health, and then he just one-shots you, and he
was basically one-shotting me most of the time anyways.
Yeah, for you, yeah.
Even before that, so I truly had to be perfect. Yeah. What I resulted doing was I used the bounty hunter armor for the perfect parry, because again, I had to be perfect and I had to take advantage of those. I think I had fully upgraded the bounty hunter armor. That was the only thing I had fully upgraded was a couple of the armor sets. And that one, slightly increases your perfect parry chances. But then the key is that you get 3, when fully upgraded, you get 3 counterattacks off a perfect parry. So It was increasing my damage window. But then my other charms were about increasing my health, or not my health, maybe I tried those and eventually abandoned them. Someone had recommended you put on some of these charms that it'll automatically take any spirit you have to heal you if you're gonna die instead, and that just fucked me up. So I just eventually took that off, and was resulting instead of, if I fucked up and I would go down. And if I had enough spirit, then I would do the thing where you can then spend 3 spirit to
get back
up. So I would just rather than healing myself in the midst of a fight, I would save my spirit. So let him down me, and then I'd get up. But it was basically just I spent 30, 40 tries, dying very fast. A lot of the times. Just learning the patterns, and eventually I got it perfect, and I killed his ass.
No, it's fun. I'm not annoyed by it. It's a really fun challenge. It works really well for the game's skill difficulty level, I think. So yeah, I continue to enjoy Yotei.
One quick thing, Matt, you'll appreciate this. That character, Takezo the Unrivaled, is a reference and is based off of the main character from Vagabond, who is based on a historical character.
Cool. That's cool.
See, I heard
not know
reference and immediately went to grab my hat that forms into my hair.
It's a JoJo reference. Oh, it's Takezo, who is, is it Miyamoto Musashi is what his name changes to? But yeah, he's Takezo at first. But yeah, so yeah, Takezo the Unrivaled, because he was like a historical figure who kind of pioneered a particular fighting style that is slightly different in the game. In the game, he uses full katanas and dual katanas, and you need to beat him. Not the final version. It's when you duel him the first time.
The first time, yeah.
You get the spirit technique for your dual blades. But he was like the one that pioneered the style. It was like a two-handed fighting style, but he would use like a regular katana and then like a wakizashi or whatever in the other hand, so the shorter blade. But his whole thing was about the two-handed style. So that's cool. A cool historical reference. I have just started reading Vagabond too. I was like reading it around the same time, so that was cool.
I will say I'm a little disappointed in the Kitsugami.
The Kurosagami?
Yeah, the
Kusarigama.
Kusarigama. We're both fucking it up. Yeah, Kusarigama. Yeah.
Weeb card taken.
Yeah.
Never had it to begin with.
I was about to say, Andrew, you've never had your weeb card.
Never had it.
I've tried to give it to you.
He influenced me to say it wrong. I blame him.
I did. I'll take full blame.
So I just wish it
had a little bit more utility against that one is truly for your rock, paper, scissors when you're against a shield opponent, and it just doesn't do much when you don't have a shield.
I'll counter you in potentially two ways.
Okay.
It can be a very good crowd control. Because
That's
if you
true.
hold
I haven't used it that way.
If you hold a charged heavy, she spins it really far, and so can hit multiple opponents if you're getting surrounded. Okay. Another way is for the same move. It's the charged heavy. Is if you see somebody somewhat farther off screen getting ready to do a golden disarm attack. Because it's the same deal. Any charged heavy will counter the disarm, and this one can do it at range. So
that's cool.
It has slightly more utility than that.
Okay, that's cool. I haven't used it in those situations yet. Actually,
have you not unlocked the stealth skills with it as well? The Kusarigama stealth
I've
assassination.
Unlocked the assassination. I've not unlocked where it doesn't cost spirit.
Okay. But if you are doing stealth that way, though, you can counteract that. Like you can have a stealth loadout that is giving you spirit back for every stealth kill. So that was never a huge deal. But dude, I just loved it because the kills with it were so.
The kills are sweet. The kills are sweet. It has sick. It's very cool for visually, and I just wish I could fight a katana with it. I mean, it makes sense. It doesn't make sense to fight a katana with that.
They tell you with every other weapon that basically if you're fighting against someone with a katana. You should pull out the katana. Cool. The only one that you can really kind of use against those is like the Odachi, because that's just a big katana. But that was my least favorite. That one was my least favorite, and it was probably because of a skill issue.
I like the push. It has that push ability where you can the heavy attack for it is essentially it's blocking the whole time. I like that skill.
I couldn't get the
video,
the perfect timing
guys
part of that.
Testing the different blocking techniques, because I guess each weapon in Yotei has a unique blocking, and testing all of them with the different weapons to see which ones were actually like functional and which ones weren't.
Because like the Kusarigama, you block with the chain.
Yeah.
Yep.
You don't block with the blade or the weight or anything. You block with the chain.
The only one they said was like real life functional was the Odachi, the two-hand block.
Yeah.
Because you create a strong base. They're pointing out like with the Kusarigama, you have to be adding tension to the chain, which means that you're pulling away with your arms and shoulders at their weakest point.
Yeah.
And trying to stop someone, coming down with their arms at their strongest point.
It's a losing battle.
Yeah. There was another one. It was like the dual katana. They were like, I don't even know why you would put them up like that. You're intentionally leaving yourself.
Who cares? It looks cool.
Yeah,
that was the entire point, was that they were like
cool score.
Yeah.
Far outweighs practicality. However,
they do it with a bunch of different fantasy media. So they
I love the thing so that the people were showing the like attention to detail and the historical accuracy or whatever of some of the weapons. The main one that they would show is like how she sheathes and unsheathes the Odachi because it's so big.
Pulls it down.
pulls it. It's like she's got a first she kind of throws it, catches the blade, and then finishes unsheathing it, and then she's got to pull it down. And so people will then like put it side by side with the character from Assassin's Creed Shadows just unsheathing her back katana, and it'll just come up, and then you just see the blade just slide through.
Up.
Yeah,
just cut through the rest of the sheath, just like.
I remember that one specifically when Assassin's Creed Shadows came out, because there was a lot of content all of a sudden around like, how would you actually sheath and unsheath a sword on your back? It's like you have to pull the sheath down while you're taking it out.
Seriously unpractical.
Yeah.
It just looks cool.
It's almost like historically people wore them on their hip for a reason.
Yeah.
Makes a little sense. So that's what I've been playing, though. A lot of. Still enjoying it. I will absolutely be finishing it probably. I'll probably be done, I think, in about a week. I don't think I have that much playtime, really, because I've done almost all of what I can do at this point.
Any feeling like you're going to try to go for the platinum? I found it to be a very easy platinum.
I think I will. It's just going to depend on what of the kind of checklist ones, how far away from them am I at the end, and like how much hunting for specific locations will I have to do. As long as it's not too much, I probably will actually platinum.
The one that fucked me up and that I was worried was bugged was the Kitsune puzzle boxes.
I haven't found one of those in a while.
There are several shrines that you can get them from, and then the rest are at either the hideouts or a couple camps. And so as I'm like missing like 2 or 3 of them, there is one that's easily missable. And it is basically like a random encounter. It's like 2 guys fighting over it. But so it's like, as I'm looking up, like, oh, this is like one of the last achievements I need. Let's look up the guide, see where things are. I'm worried that my shit is, fucked, and I've spent all this time. I've got like 1 achievement away, and it's like I'm about to be furious.
I guess you just have to do a New Game Plus playthrough. And
But no, it was because what was difficult was each box is not actually tied to a specific location. You get each box in a specific order. So it'll be like when you find the next encampment, you get the next box.
Okay.
So it's like, because they each have a name. Each of them has a name, and so they're listed. And so it's like the ultimate box is found at this location, and I go to that location and there's nothing there, and I'm like, what the fuck? What's going on? Have I completely fucked everything up? Like, because I came to this camp a long time ago and I just missed it somehow, and now everything has despawned and I can't get it back.
Yeah, that's exactly.
And it was
what
like, no, you just got to go find. And the one that I was missing was at a regular camp. And it was just hidden in the grass. I just like visually couldn't see it.
Okay.
Because if they're not the ones at the shrines, if they're at a camp or one of the hideouts, they're always right in front of the skill point shrine.
Okay, cool. All right, easy enough. Yeah, no, so I probably will. It's going to depend. If there's like a whole bunch I'm not close to when I finish the game, then I'll be less likely, but I'm thinking it's going to be like 2 or 3 that I have to do. And
the one one of the ones that's probably going to get you that is easy to fulfill. It's an easy kind of checklist to look up, and is the one where you bow at the special.
Yeah, that was the one. That was the one. I looked through most of the trophies, and that was the one I saw, and I was like, I don't know.
When I had seen that was a trophy before I was finished playing, if I found anything, because there are the few places that have the little sign where it literally just tells you to bow, but there are a bunch of other ones where I'm just like, is this potentially one of them? So I'm just bowing at fucking everything. Like every shrine trip that I'm going up, if I see like a little statue or something just along the path, I stop and I'm bowing to it.
Your Atsu has a weird tick.
Yeah.
Then the other thing I do want to just quickly hit on, and was my experience using the new PlayStation Portal streaming ability. Which
folks, I talked about that on one of my shorts from last week.
Yeah, so check that out. It's a great additional feature. It definitely completes its viability because it eliminates the issues that I've had where my PlayStation got shut off accidentally and then my portal becomes useless. Like,
it's a brick.
Yeah.
It's a brick.
I was about to say Lily walked over and said, "Why is this still on?"
Yeah. So it eliminates that issue, and I think for people who don't have hardwired PS5, the quality of the streaming is much better than when you're streaming from the PlayStation itself. Like, it's definitely a little bit of a smoother experience.
What was your internet like?
It was
Where you
fine.
were-
It wasn't amazing. It was like, I checked the download speeds. They were like 20 megabytes, 25 megabytes per second. So nothing crazy.
Okay.
And I was playing Yotei, and that's a game where you do need your frame rate to be pretty good.
Where some lag is gonna
Right.
is gonna fuck you up.
Yeah, and I really didn't have any issues that seemed to be from lag. Most of them were just skill issues, which I'm fine with. And the other part of it that I was interested in was the saving, because I wasn't sure how that would work, and it works seamlessly. I used
it's just the cloud,
because it just uses the cloud, exactly.
Cloud updates.
I think the most interesting aspect about this is it's basically now the cheapest point of entry into the PlayStation ecosystem, because you can just buy a Portal and then just buy PS Plus.
Yeah, you're right.
And because you also have, it's only for premium members, or at least that library.
If you were going to be using it and already had a PS5, you'd be paying for premium anyway. So it's one of those.
Yeah. That's the part of it that I think it completes the Portal as a device that is useful and good for someone who is definitely more of a hardcore user of a PlayStation. If you aren't someone who already has that premium subscription, I still think the value of a Portal is really diminished. But if you already subscribe to the premium and you have a PS, it really does a great job of making your PlayStation gaming a portable experience that I've gotten a lot of use of. I really have. I wasn't sure how much I'd use the Portal when I bought it. It's been effective.
I think I remember when you bought it, you were like, "I'm bringing it up for a trip." Like you came up here and like, I bought a Portal. I'm going to use it, and if I don't like it this weekend, I'm returning it.
Yep. Nope, and it's gotten more playtime than I expected. So
was it Matt Piscatella who posted that the Portal has the highest usage of the streaming applications? So like it's used more than phones or PC.
Yeah, for remote play. Yeah,
but props to Sony. I do think this is probably a feature they should have had at release, but it does make it completes really the value proposition of the Portal as a consumer product. So kudos to them.
Well, I'm glad to see that you're having a good experience with it. Like, I'm always wary of the game streaming. Like, I've only done it like once, and it was to my console, which is hardwired. I've got fiber internet. I was trying to stream God of War, the original God of War, from the PS Plus catalog, and I couldn't tell if it was just because it was input lag and shit like that, or just I just struggle with that era of games and was just getting my ass kicked in these boss fights. But I never went back to it. I never felt like it was an experience that I enjoyed. But I feel like in my head I've coupled it to I didn't like streaming the game versus I probably just wasn't very good at the game.
And I mean, I don't know, that was probably a year or two ago, maybe even a little longer.
No, a little longer.
Yeah, I would also say they have made the infrastructure better. It works. It absolutely works better than it did.
I'm definitely not one to talk because I used PlayStation Now back in 2016. I mean, I played less intensive and more intensive games on it. Like I played Darksiders, an entire playthrough through PlayStation Now. I played half of Borderlands.
Huh. That's a pretty demanding one to play that.
All right, Matt, tell us, how's Nioh treating you?
So we have a very interesting parallel among, you were just talking about, I was trying to fight a guy and he kept one-shotting me and, I gave up. I didn't. I went into...
Lock the fuck in.
Yeah.
I went into a side mission duel against a guy who, in the previous main mission, you fight a bad guy impersonating him. And so he was watching from the sideline. He's like, oh, you looked pretty good. I want to taste your steel for myself, more or less. And I didn't realize it was just literally go in and you're just doing a boss fight. So I jumped into that mission with 98% of the Amarita I needed to hit another level, and I wasn't about to dump all of that. So I spent the better part of 2.5 hours, where I would say probably 2 hours of those fights cumulatively across that 2.5 hour span were spent getting one shot.
Oh no.
And there was a lot of choice language getting used at certain points. There was a lot of me being like, I don't even understand how this is fair, because like, what am I supposed to do about that? Because so there's two things I wanted to touch on. So this is an NPC fight. So this is where I wanted to say that I think Nioh does NPC fights better than Elden Ring, Dark Souls, the From Software games that I've done, for one specific reason. And that's because the NPCs in Nioh follow the exact same rules that you follow, which is they have a key bar that depletes when they dodge, that when they block, when they attack, and it's visible. So you can see, okay, he can't just spam roll while I'm trying to hit him, or he can't constantly input read me because I can hit out his key and get a free opening to be able to, take a heal, or go in for a key breaking attack and knock him into a stagger state so I can get a grab attack off. And that's something I really enjoy, because I think I can only speak for myself, where the Elden Ring DLC NPC fights in general, the
one where you fight like all 4 of them?
Well, I mean, any of them. All of them, none of them, any of them. Any time you fight an NPC in the Elden Ring DLC is always an interesting moment of like, they don't play by my rules. He can spam roll on me. He can attack constantly without giving up. Like, he doesn't have to abide by stamina, whereas I do. And that was always a thing that annoyed me. And so that's a good thing that they do in Nioh. I enjoy that part. But the second half of that comes through where I was over leveled for what the mission level required. I think my equipment was probably right around the right level, because that's a whole mechanic where, like, your armor, you want to constantly be getting higher leveled armor because your defensive multiplier just increases with those. And that'll make a huge noticeable difference with how much damage you take on increasing level missions. I was also notably stuck off because he fights with lightning. And up until that point, I had swapped over to a katana that was imbued with lightning. So my lightning was doing jack shit to him, and I had to swap back to a considerably worse weapon. And like readjust myself to that playstyle. But yeah, he had like, it was like a sweeping slash that he could do, and he could either do it once or he could do it 3 times in a row. And the amount of times where he would do it twice and then I would just run out of room in the back of the arena to be able to continue to backstep, and would just, because you can't block it, because you try to block it, the lightning just knocks through you. Just one shot, one shot, one shot, one shot, one shot. And then I was about to give up, and then I had a run that I got him to like 95% depleted. And I was like, okay, I can do this.
Those are always the worst, because then you're locking in for another like 3 hours of just never getting that close again, but you can.
Yep. Well, that was exactly, it was like I got there in the first 30 minutes, and then I probably didn't get there again for another hour, where I was just like, okay, I know I can do this. Dead. Okay, nope, I know I can do this. I just need to figure out how to bait out the attacks that I want and how to somehow prevent him from constantly doing the attacks I don't want.
If only it were that easy.
And the run that I finally beat him, I got him down to 1 hit away. I was out of healing items. I had just enough health left where any of his attacks would kill me, and he got stuck on a rock in the back of the arena. And I was like, I don't want to approach him, because I know if I approach him, there's like a greater than 50% chance that he'll do some like lunging attack that'll get hung up on the rock, and then he'll just like zoom around and hit me. So I'm like trying to like get him off this rock and like sidestepping and like blocking and like trying to like bait him into coming near me. And right as he ran towards me, I was just like, full greed, fuck it, let's just send it. Threw out an attack, hoping that there wasn't going to be an input back, and got him.
Hell yeah.
Ended up getting a cool guardian spirit out of the main mission you beat prior to taking him on as a submission. By beating his incarnated spirit, you get a single lightning Shiba Inu. And by beating him, you get the lightning Shiba Inu's mate, essentially. So you get 2 of them that you can then control.
Cool.
How far would you say you've gotten into it at this point? Like, how far? What point are you at?
I think the PlayStation says I'm like a quarter of the way through.
Damn.
But I've done every side mission up to date. And I've also been periodically, there's missions on the main screen called Twilight missions, which are rehashes of missions you've already done, harder, where all the enemies are replaced with demons, and they're a higher level cap. And so I've been doing level appropriate version of those when they pop up Obviously, I'm not going to jump in at level 50 to the level 125 or the level 175 missions that show up every now and then, but I'll go through, and it's a good like rehash because like you know how the mission runs. You just gotta compete with tougher enemies.
But still in it for the long haul.
Yeah. I spent a decent amount of time after completing the first area because it's all broken up. Like you go to one section of Japan, you do a bunch of missions, you're going to leave that section, go to another section, you do a bunch of missions. And once I'd finished that last duel, that was the last mission in that first area, I went back through and cleaned up, like finding all the Kodama, which are these little like frog spirit dudes, at all of those first area missions that I'd missed to make sure that I didn't have to run back through. And I mean, when you're going through a mission that's level 6 with level 40 plus weapon and armor, it's amazing how easily you can just run through. And like most of the time I didn't even bother like just backing out of the mission once I found the last one. Like I just was like, I'll just run it to the end, might as well get like the free materials from beating the boss for no reason, and like see how easy it is compared to when I first fought through it.
How are you liking the story?
Story's fine. It's nothing fundamentally like life-changing.
Where does it fall in terms of Souls and Souls-like games in terms of its story delivery?
It's more straightforward. Like you get lots of raw cutscenes of like characters talking back and forth, and like pre and post mission like blurbs that'll pop up.
How can they do item descriptions when you're just getting so much fucking loot? You know, when that's such a core part of the game is just, here's 1 million pieces of loot.
Well, I mean, part of it does break down to like a lot of the armor you will find repeated, but just higher level, more passive skills, more stuff like that on it. And it's an interesting, the way that leveling works. Like you definitely are rewarded for the way that I play games, which is to like spread your levels out a little more than to just like hard focus a single skill, because like you'll find a bunch of different armor and they'll have different skills that they'll require with like a minimum to be able to get the full benefit of like all of their passives out of it. And I'd found that I was running really short on strength to be able to use a lot of the newer armor that I was running into. So I increased my strength a little bit. And then I realized, well, I've been focusing a lot on all of the physical attributes. I haven't put any into magic. So I started pumping my magic skill up, and that's very useful because you can get the Omyo magic is what they call it. And there's stuff that you can do where you can get elemental talismans, where you can, imbue your weapon with different elements for free that recharge every time you hit a shrine. You can slow enemies, so you can just cast a slow spell to be able to enfeeble is another one. So it's a useful thing to have in your pocket. And I've been trying to diversify and try to use more weapons in general, but also trying to keep the ninjutsu and the magic as part of the kit that I'm using more frequently, because it's very useful to have a couple shuriken on your command prompt that you can use to throw at an enemy to pull them out of a group so that you're not going to get ganked on. There's definitely been a couple moments where like I've looked and been like, shiny item in the middle of a room that I can see through a closed doorway. I bet you if I step through that door and then backstep, someone's going to swing a sword down at me.
Do you think it's a game I would like?
It's interesting. So it treads a weird line between because it did get a lot of notification back in the day or notoriety, better term, for being a Souls-like, because it has similarities to the Souls games. But I see a lot more, it's got a lot of the Ninja Gaiden blood in it, if you look, because, that's what Team Ninja was making for their action games before they got there. And now, as I'm playing it, it's just making me itch to go back and play Strangers of Paradise again, because I feel like I have a better, firm understanding of that system now that I've played its, grandfather.
I'm more interested in playing Stranger Paradise than I am Nioh.
Yeah, I don't think Ben would have a good time with Nioh.
So Andrew, if you're interested, let me know. I'll sell you my copy for $15.
I've been thinking about it. I don't know. Which are you playing for, Matt? You're playing the first one, right?
But I'll sell you my double copy. It's the 1 and 2 collection. 2, yeah. I'll sell it to you for $15.
It's one of those where if you get into the combat system, I don't know that I'm ever going to
get into it.
If you get into the combat system, it feels pretty fun. I quite enjoy building up my living weapon meter, and like I don't hold on to that shit. I pull that out the second I see like a group of enemies that I just don't want to waste healing items on. And like it's pretty cool to be able to go through, like I've opened myself up. I'm not just using my Kusarigama anymore. I was using the lightning katana with an Odachi as my secondary. I swapped over. I was using a spear with some Tonfa. Right now I'm back to my Kusarigama, mostly because the strongest one I have is fire imbued, and I'm at a level right now where I'm fighting a giant oil blob monster. Yeah, he sunk my boat, so now he has to die. I spent a lot of effort getting that boat put together, and obviously being made of oil, he's weak to fire.
So obviously I went a little long on my first one, so I'll have to speed through just quickly. I won't dive into...
Spend a lot of time talking about a game you hate. Let the venting come out.
I'll have to skip over my middle experience, which was a good game. I wouldn't call it my favorite, but I played The Alters, which was a game that came out this year. I believe it was this year. Yeah, it was several months ago. I think it was like the summer. Very cool concept. And I think like Andrew, you would really appreciate the sci-fi concept of it, but I think you would loathe it as a game. It is not a game that I could easily recommend to at least to the group, to anybody who likes kind of resource management, base building, that kind of survival game. It's an easy recommend. Very good. I think the writing is good. The performance is good. Because what's really interesting, the concept, to get off the bat first, is you are the sole survivor of this space expedition. The rest of your crew dies. You've got to try to escape the sun that's gonna when the sunrise comes, it like irradiates the whole planet, or at least that portion of the planet. So you're trying to constantly stay ahead of the sun, and you need to get to the point to be able to escape. But obviously you can't do everything that is needed on the base by yourself. So you use the kind of central idea is this certain element called rapidium, which was why it was in search of this element is what the whole expedition was about. And you find it. Rapidium, the whole thing is about its rapidity, can speed up organic growth. So using the quantum computer that is kind of overseeing the whole project, it plots out your life path and finds these critical junction moments of when you, instead of staying home to take care of your sick mother, you decide to go off to college or whatever, your life paths branch and you become a different person. You become an alter. You gain these different skills. You become a scientist, or you become a miner, or you become a botanist. And so you are then picking the different roles and you create these alters of yourself. But so they're all played by the same guy. It's one dude playing all of them and imbuing each of them with their own personalities. So really cool. But then it's like you go to it's 3 acts, not including the prologue or the epilogue. And it's just you're kind of exploring these maps, building out different things to open up different tools to open up different parts of the map, finding the resources, setting up the mining outposts, attaching them to the power source of your base, getting new altars, assigning people to different posts, again, exploring each of these map sections, building resources, building out your base, following the story developments that you need to then research these certain items to progress to the next act, and so on. And then you've got all these choices of how is the corporation going to deal with your alters when they come home? How are you managing their disparate personalities and all that? Really interesting, just really, really interesting concept. It was like a game that like it was like I would get the itch to play it, but like not being a super survival game or management style gamer, I can't say that I was like excited to go play it. But like it had its hooks in me, and the concept was really well done, and I ended up really appreciating it at the end, and was really glad that I played it. And to anybody who is remotely interested in those kind of elements, easy recommend. But if you don't, it's a hard hurdle to get over.
Story sounds cool, but yeah, I don't know.
So I would say like it's not really cutscene heavy. So I would like I don't even know how I could recommend to you like go watch a YouTube video.
Yeah.
On it. Maybe if you could find a YouTube video on somebody discussing it, that might be enough for you. But it was very interesting. I enjoyed it a lot. I liked it. It was a very good game. But I'll wrap up the final bit with the game that like you have to play. And I don't care what you two say, you need to go play it. And I want you to give me your reasons why you think you don't want to play it, and I will tell you why you're wrong. And that is Dispatch. You need to play Dispatch.
So is it a narrative? Is it this is I don't. It's a this is the Telltale game, right?
Play it like.
Can you explain how it works?
Play it like a TV show, and you will fucking love it.
Okay.
If you go into it thinking about this is my gaming time type of thing, you may be slightly disappointed. I don't buy into that. But yeah, so it is by the studio Ad Hoc, which is there's the saga of Telltale. Telltale died, Telltale was resurrected, Telltale lives again, and now lives on in some of these other studios. So Ad Hoc is made up of former leads, including directors and writers from some of its best games, including the Walking Dead series, The Wolf Among Us, all that. These people know what they're doing. And it was initially pitched as a interactive game TV show for Netflix. It was meant to be live action, but then COVID hit. Funding was never going to be a big thing, and it ended up being for the best because what they would have been able to do live action would have been such lower quality than what they were able to do as, you know, if it's animation. And that's one of its best things. It is one of the best animated things I've ever fucking seen. You're like, how is this is an animated show that is interactive, that I am making these choices in and doing all these things. And so gameplay in most Telltale games we'll have other things like you can go and like there'll be bits where you're going around and exploring and moving and stuff, but most of it is quick time events. This is slightly less interactive in that you're not moving things. You're not exploring areas. You're not going and talking to NPCs and stuff like that. It is a story that's going that will have quick time events. But then each episode is framed around your two shifts of being the superhero dispatcher. So the gameplay comes in the dispatching, and it's kind of a management type thing, but I found it to be very fun type of thing. Matt, you would just like each of your superheroes has their ability charts. You know, think of like every stand from JoJo's where when it's a commercial, they've got their S rank in speed and all these things. So they have their different skills, and you can, as they level up, you can put your skills certain ways, and a call comes in for the dispatch. It gives you these keywords, like it tells you what's going, and keywords are highlighted. And you've got to learn this keyword refers to this skill. So I want to put on people who are going to either team up well and will try to hit this skill in this order. And then when it comes back, it overlays what the call required, the chart thing of what the skills it needs, and then it overlays that with the heroes that you sent in it, and it gives you a percentage chance. If you've completely overlapped the whole thing, it's 100%. You're going to succeed. And then it's just the thing is just pinging around, and you get your successes, and there are other little elements to it, and it's quite fun. I found it to be pretty fun. Okay. Maybe a couple issues with some balancing here or there.
How long are the episodes?
Each one is like an hour 10 minutes. Like they're right around an hour. Think of it like an hour of television.
Yeah, no, that's what it sounds like.
I went into it thinking like maybe the episodic thing doesn't work these days, and that opinion was completely shot through when I was playing it and playing it along with everybody else. Just waiting each week for the 2 episodes. It's now all out, and you can go play it fully. I think you're getting the inferior experience by not playing it episodically, playing it those 2 episodes at a time. Particularly there's a break between episodes 6 and 7 that it was just this huge cliffhanger, and it was this big emotional moment, and you're just like, how it was heightened by I've now got to wait a week for this is crazy. And now everybody's talking about it online, seeing people give their theories, their fan cams, loving all the characters, the character writing, all so good. One of Matt Mercer's best voice roles in a long time, Matt. Really, really good. Really, really good.
I know it's got
the
Mercer.
Voice cast is excellent.
Yeah, who else is in it?
Aaron Paul. Aaron Paul is the main character, and he fucking kills it.
Yeah, I had seen that. He was really...
But it's in terms of like the actual like traditional voice actors, because like you can consider Aaron Paul an experienced voice actor at this point in his career. So Aaron Paul, Laura Bailey are the 2 main, and then Matt Mercer plays Shroud, the villain. Travis Willingham is one of the characters you can recruit, but he is in this kind of the side tier. All the other characters are, maybe one of them is she's a voice actor, but the majority of them are all.
Isn't one of them voice critical?
Sonar is voice critical. Malevola is Alana Pierce. Punch Up is Jacksepticeye. Waterboy is a YouTuber, Joel Haver. I was not familiar with him before this.
Wow, should have been Adam Sandler.
There's Gollum is fucking Young Gravy.
I was gonna say Young Gravy's in it.
And he's pretty good. He's pretty good.
Hilarious.
I like Gollum. Gollum.
Jeffrey
so
Wright's
good.
great too.
Jeffrey Wright kills it as Chase. Oh, he's so good.
Cool.
He's so good. Erin
All right,
Yvette,
I'm sold. You sold me, man.
She's a voice actor. She's not one of the content creators that was hired, but she plays Blonde Blazer. I would beg you to try to play it as close to episodically as you can. You could maybe do the two, play it like I did. I played the 2 episodes each time as they came out, but like give it a couple days. Maybe you don't have to wait a week, but like play a couple episodes, give it a couple days. Let it percolate a little bit.
I'm even thinking like if I get interest from Lily, like this could be instead of watching an episode of something during the week one night, we do that.
And it could be great because so what you can do is obviously there's the QuickTime events. Right. You can choose to turn those off. That is, you don't have to do QuickTime events. You can have it be the cinematic version and it just gets rid of those. And it's up to you. But then it's like, yeah, you guys can make the choices together.
Right. It seems like that's not...
Because then that's the rest of the major gameplay is dialogue choices. And those are impactful. That is like determining your story path is making these choices. And there is also a hacking game that like Robert, the main character, in a dispatch, he may be hacking something because he's a tech guy. He was Mecha Man. He basically was an Iron Man. Was his whole thing. And it starts with that his mech suit gets destroyed and he's spent his family fortune keeping it up and he's now run out of money. The suit's destroyed. He's got nothing else. So SDN, they hire him to be a dispatcher to help this Z team of reformed villains. In exchange, they'll fix his suit. So that's like kind of the hook. And it's just the character work is just excellent. It's so good. It is so, so good. Best superhero thing I've seen and I've engaged with in a long, long, long time.
Okay, you sold me. I'll definitely check it out. I mean, that's low. Like it's 8 episodes, right? So 8 episodes, 8.5, 9 hours. That's low. I can totally take that on, and if it's a good story, I'm interested.
It's so good.
You have made me, between our Doki Doki and now my experience with Sentinel 13.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So as a final wrap up thing, very high surface level stuff because we're not going to talk about that until a couple weeks. The December, my game choice of the year for us to play, it was 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim. Yeah. What's your over high level take of what you've done so far?
High level take. The real time strategy is inoffensive. The story has got me hooked though.
It's so good. It's so good.
It's really like it's a fun sci-fi story just from where the 2 hours in that I'm in. I'm hooked in the story. I like the characters.
It's so good.
If there's enough questions already presented without overwhelming me, and like I want to get the answers. I want to get the answers.
But it's going to get there. It gets more and more batshit as it goes on. It does a really good job of just spinning that shit up.
Cool. No, cool. It's definitely got me hooked from a story perspective. So
excellent.
I'm enjoying that.
See, Matt, I'm culturing him. First, I'm getting him into visual novels.
Yeah.
Then we'll finally get him into anime.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like I'm going the backwards route, kind of.
You are going the backwards route.
Yeah. Oh, well, nobody's trajectory is a straight line.
Exactly.
So.
No, I'm pretty sure everyone who starts with Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood just wins from there.
Right. All right, folks, this was a good episode. Let's see what we're playing next month when this rolls around because
spoilers gonna be a lot of similar stuff.
Still beat Nioh for Matt, but I'm assuming Andrew will be playing something different.
Yeah, I'll be done with Yotei.
Yeah, it's just for me, like I'm trying to figure out what to play next. And
we'll have Elden Ring Night Rain DLC to talk about.
Yes, that's true. That's true. That'll be exciting. So
I will hand force all of you. I will show up with
okay. No, that's good.
I will
that's
show
a
up
guarantee.
With a gun.
That's a guarantee. We'll be talking about that next month. But yeah, because other than that, like releases are slowing down. We're gonna get Game Awards announcements on Monday. Those come out Monday, and That's why I'm waiting to see if I kind of want to wait to see if Death Stranding actually gets a nomination, because then if it does, then I feel like, okay, I've got enough time to get into that. But if not, then if it doesn't, then I can feel okay about pushing that off till later.
You actually just kind of gave me my answer. I have no idea how far along I'll be, but I'll probably have dipped my toes into Clair Obscur at that point. I do want to.
You gotta play it. It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. Oh my god. Okay, folks. So we'll be back in 2 weeks for our news for the month of November, and we'll have something else in the meantime in the weeks between. But next podcast, just news roundup of November. Bunch of stuff's happening. Some exciting things. We'll be talking about that. So you'll have to wait a little bit.
November 18th.
Yeah, we'll be talking about that in just a couple weeks. So I hope you all are enjoying whatever it is you're playing as the year is coming to a close. I know. As for me, the decision of what to play next is always so hard. I struggle. I really struggle with analysis paralysis, and these episodes kind of help me with that, but they keep me honest. All right, folks, but we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey.